Gunplay in a game can either make or break the game. For some cases, like Call of Duty or Battlefield, those games have refined gunplay, great animations, and pretty okay sound design. Gunplay improves the immersion overall when it comes down to the game, and animations give the weapons life, makes you feel like you're there, and sound design is a huge part of it, especially because if you aren't feeling like you're in the environment, how can you really be immersed in the game? That's why you see a lot of people getting all excited about games like Squad or 6 Days in Fallujah and stuff like that. So Squad has recently had a large combat overhaul, and from what I've found out, it's got the community divided a little bit. So the reason that they actually wanted to make this was to slow the pace of the actual game and improve the feeling of being under fire and utilizing things such as suppression or things like that to keep enemies down. I think it's a wonderful idea on paper, but the execution is, well, in my opinion, I think the execution's just fine, but when it comes to everybody else, we've got lots of different opinions. For one thing, firing weapons now shoot where you're actually pointing the gun. So if you're at the low ready and you start shooting, your gun's gonna go wherever your barrel is pointed towards. I like that. It means you actually have to be ready to shoot rather than just clicking left click and then all of a sudden your gun going through going to the exact center of your screen. Leaning has become a lot slower too. The reason that they got rid of this fast leaning is most likely because they don't want people to be able to wiggle as fast to get out of a firefight. So whenever I was playing the old Squad, I would find myself wiggling a lot to try and avoid getting shot, and more often than not it actually worked. But that's just me personally. Certain weapons can't even be leaned anymore, such as the PKM or the M240 for the Americans, which I think is pretty good of an idea balance wise, because it would suck to just be peeked around a corner and then be destroyed by a PKM immediately. But you know, realism wise, I'm sure you could peek a corner kinda, at least with a PKM. Suppression is finally effective, so whenever you're actually shooting at somebody, you see them flinching, you see them actually getting nervous, and you see them actually reacting to fire. So whenever I've gotten shot at, I find myself panicking a little bit and trying to find the closest cover and try to avoid getting shot at. Either that or I'm shooting back wildly and I don't even know what's going on. Suppression in this game has been very improved because I feel like now it's going to be promoting a lot of team play. Like in the video, you can actually hear me like constantly saying like, hey, I need somebody to play as a machine gunner, or I need somebody to play as Hat. And those are just, it's hard to get somebody to play those because now it's just a difficult job. Aiming has become slower as well. So I think the reason that they did this was, again, to improve the firefights. Aiming now has the ability, kind of like in Project Reality, where they have two squares at the bottom of your compass or at the bottom of your screen to actually see where you are stability wise. The closer they are together, the better your shot's going to hit on target. So something I was thinking about is, what does the community think about this? Well, me personally, I'll give you my opinion after we hear some things about the community, but let's just hear some community feedback. What do you think about the update?
Awesome. I'm only playing on the weekends nowadays when it's playtest.
Oh yeah. What's your favorite part about it?
It's probably the slow pace. It reminds me much more about Project Reality. It was my favorite games for 10 years.
Oh, awesome. Oh shit! How are you liking the playtest?
Yes, of course.
Do you think that this is going to change? This update's going to make a lot of players leave?
Perhaps some, but probably the same amount will come back.
Hey, what's your opinion on the playtest so far? What do you think about this update?
As a firearm owner, the guns are shit, but it is good for the game.
Really? What do you mean by that?
No, it's not.
Yeah, the weapons don't handle that well compared to real life ones.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, who's the other guy who just said no, it's not? Who said that?
Yeah, it's shit.
Why do you say that? I want to shut up. Hold on. I want to listen to what he says. I want to hear his opinion. Why do you say that?
What, the playtest?
Yeah, what do you think about it? Why do you not like it?
I just think it's unnecessary.
Why do you think it's unnecessary?
I think the game was fine as it is and nobody asked for it.
Well, I mean, a lot of people did kind of ask for, you know, a slower pace to the game.
Yeah, you can do that without completely rebuilding the game though, right?
I mean, I guess.
You want to know what my
reduce
take is?
stamina, you
No.
can introduce the cost, you don't need these new scopes. You can reduce the wiggle, you can do all that stuff without
I like
actually
this man. I like this man.
Nice.
I don't know. It's not a milsim game.
Oh, so you think this is more casual than it is Milsim?
Yes.
I think they're trying to make it more milsim than casual, and they're going to lose the vast majority of their player base because of that.
Truly
I
a
think it'll be
community
fine for a couple of
divided.
months, and then I think it'll just die.
So my personal takeaway is I fucking love this edition. All of these additions, all of these changes. Making people panic under heavy firefight conditions or seek cover is a wonderful way to slow the pace. In my opinion, firefights used to be super fucking quick. Like, you would never be caught in a firefight for more than a couple of minutes, you know? You'd be shooting and then boom. Unless it was a long range firefight, then yeah. But I find myself actually utilizing suppression and shooting as much as I can, not to kill, but to keep them down so my squad mates can push up. I've done it with the PKM and the M240, and sometimes it's effective, sometimes it's not, because, you know, it's a hard situation to be in. Firefights are honestly becoming a lot slower, and I like that. They're becoming fights again, or they're becoming fights. Rather than one guy going Rambo while you're all missing all of your shots, like, now you actually have to coordinate and work as a team and tell people where they are. This is a play style that I think a lot of us are gonna have to get used to, because as it is, a lot of us are used to lone wolfing. Yeah, there are some people who like to go and work together as a squad, but primarily I see people lone wolfing and pretending that they're Meal Team 6 over there trying to, you know, take out all the bad guys on their own. Whereas now I don't think that's going to be as much of a possibility as long as you don't have a sniper. It's a hard thing to do now. CQB is one of the craziest things that I've seen now. I've actually want to utilize a fucking Cobra sight because I feel like it's easier than utilizing a sight that that has magnification. The new magnification system in this game has been a stark change from what it used to be. I definitely enjoy it because of picture-in-picture, but I'm not used to it yet. I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm just saying it's different. And you know what? That's okay. I enjoy it. Teamwork in this game is honestly a lot better than, like, most games now. I feel like slowing down the pace actually promotes the teamwork. Games like fucking Squad and Arma are mainly played to cooperate with other people. So that's the whole reason we play. But when the team doesn't work together, why even bother play the game? I feel like this will promote people to lay down suppressive fire while others move up to a better firing position and just work together more effectively as a team. A lot of the people in the community actually don't like this idea. They feel like this game is starting to become too slow paced. As in, the more casual players aren't going to be interested in this game as much. I completely understand where people are coming from with that. They wanted a more casual game than Arma, but not as casual as Call of Duty or Insurgency. This game is definitely that nice in between, but it's leaning more towards Arma now. It's leaning more towards the aggressive Milsim-y style shooter. Again, this is all just fine. Like, people suggested that a lot of people will leave the community, and honestly, from what I heard through like talking with people, yeah, some people might. They might drop the game entirely because the gameplay has been changed so much that a lot of people might not actually want to stick around. But for those of us who do want to stick around, I think this is a welcome change. I mean, making it more Milsim-y and more aggressive when it comes to firefights makes us a lot more reliant makes you a lot more reliant when it comes to working with your team. You want to rely on your teammates more and utilize them more. That's what I saw a lot of. Machine gunners were actually laying down suppressive fire. MGs were on machine guns and everything, were actually suppressing the shit out of fucking bad guys. And one of my favorite things that I saw was when we were driving the APC, and you see on the map everybody's following along the APC, and we're charging with the APC's support because the M2 is suppressing the shit out of them, keeping their heads down, allowing us to move up. This kind of stuff is completely welcomed in my eyes, and I hope more people in the community will actually enjoy that. The squad devs are really trying hard, it looks like, and it's really nice to see that they're listening to feedback too, because before, the suppression in the first playtest was very, very aggressive, like unnecessarily aggressive. We gotta remember that this is still a video game and we're playing this for enjoyment. So I understand when it comes to balance and then full on annoyance. Overall, I love the idea behind this update, and I'm glad to finally see something like this in a video game, where we're actually working together to fight an opposing force. If you like this video, just, thank you. I'm glad that you made it this far. It makes me really happy. I love entertaining anybody. If you could you drop a like and a subscribe? If you don't want to, that's fine. I hope I earned it at the very end of this all, but I really appreciate it. And please do give me video suggestions of games that you want me to, talk about, maybe new updates for certain games. And yeah, I love making videos. This is honestly pretty great. Just a nice little de-stress. So yeah, thanks.